Hurricane Sam is still a 150 mile per hour hurricane that is expanding in size as we speak. Its approach towards Bermuda. As you can see, it's making a turn towards the northeast a little bit. We have the latest public advisory coming in from Hurricane Sam as of 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tropical storm warning remains in effect for Bermuda. As of 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the eye of Hurricane Sam was located near latitude 29.1 degrees north, longitude 61.9 degrees west. Sam is moving towards the north at 21 miles per hour, so that's a significant increase of speed. It was 16 miles per hour before, now it's 21. A turn towards the north-northeast or at a slightly slower forward speed is expected by tonight, followed by a northeastward motion Saturday night through Monday. On the forecast track, the center of Sam will pass well east through the Bermuda tonight. Data from hurricane hunters indicate maximum winds remain at 150 miles per hour with higher gusts. Sam is still a strong Category 4 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, although fluctuation in intensity are still possible today. Weakening is forecast during the next couple of days. However, Sam is expected to remain a major hurricane through at least Saturday night. Hurricane force winds extend out 60 miles from the center, but look at this. Tropical storm force winds now extend out 205 miles from the center. The pressure has gone up a little bit to 937 millibars, but it's still very low. This is where Sam is right now. We can see we can see that core of it right here. We're gonna go to the cone right here. Yeah, this is how this hurricane is becoming larger and larger as we speak. So, yeah, we see that 205 mile per hour winds, 205 miles from the center are tropical storm force winds. Please excuse that last part right there. So yeah, this hurricane is growing in size. It looks like this hurricane is just, it's been a beast this whole time. It's growing in size now, so there we have it. We have the tracks right here. It's expected to move towards the northeast and to the northeast. Then, 5 days out, it's just going to move all the way out towards the northern Atlantic Ocean. We have the intensity miles right here as of 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is the time of recording of this video. We have some of the miles have it weakening at a very slow pace. We have some of the miles weakening at a very fast pace after this advisory. So I'll be keeping a very close eye on it. Some of them have it weakening down to a Cat 3 hurricane. That's interesting. I know last night I said that's not going to happen, but considering that I was wrong that this thing was considering that I said this thing wasn't going to get to 150 miles per hour, and it did get to 150 miles per hour, that gives it a little bit more credence. So I'll be taking those models with a grain of salt. I'll be taking this model, the UKX2, with a grain of salt. I'll be taking the HMNI with a grain of salt. But the rest of them are in general agreement, although the COTI just has this crashing in 84 hours. That's likely not going to happen, judging by what happened yesterday. But yeah, general agreement is gradually weakening down to a tropical storm strength a week out. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that. Here it is right here. We have the hurricane right here. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up the aircraft reconnaissance. I'm going to pull up another tab. Yeah, that's Tropical Storm Victor, which we'll get to very shortly. But yeah, I'm looking at this. This is another hurricane reconnaissance mission that went to Sam. And this is basically the last drop. They had 8 dropsons in it. So we're going to first view the southwestern eye wall right here. 110 knots, or about 126 miles per hour. That's high-end Cat 3 strength right there. Pressure of 952 right there at the southwestern eye wall. Next one is we're going to go to the northeastern eye wall. We're going to look at that. 132 knots. Take a look at that. So that's actually above 150 miles per hour. That's 152 miles per hour if you convert that. So, yeah, this thing's definitely a 150 mile per hour hurricane for sure. So that's our confirmation right there. So we're going to go ahead and look for them. I wonder if they ever did an eye dropsend on this. I don't think they did. But, yeah, this is drop 6 of the northwestern eye wall. 111 knots. That's equivalent to high-end Cat 3 strength right there. So so there it is. And the south. Wait, is this the southwestern? Yeah, this is the southwestern. No, I think they confused that with the southeastern eye wall, but I'm not sure anymore. So this now has a pressure of 953. They've sampled winds at 89 knots, which is about category 2 strength. So this thing's definitely a category 4 hurricane. Also looking at the flight level winds, they found flight level winds of around 140 knots. SFMRs went up to 120 knots. This SFMR over here. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't have any earlier data, unfortunately, but what I can tell you is that the pressures remaining stable at 37 millibars. It was 934, so it has gone up a little bit, but it hasn't gone up by a significant amount. So, yeah, this hurricane is still a powerhouse as it is approaching that 30-degree north point. So, yeah, I'll be keeping a very close eye on it. This hurricane, like I've said before, is proving to be resilient. Okay, something's wrong with this. Okay, this is not right. This is a problem. I'm gonna have to try to refresh the page. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and pause it right here. This hurricane is proven to be resilient. This hurricane was at 150 before. Its core collapsed. Its structure just looked awful for a bit. Tanked down to 120 miles per hour. Now we see it strengthening again. We did see it strengthening. I think it's leveled off at that point. We can see the pressure has gone up a little bit, but at the same time, it's likely not going to be strengthening anymore by this point. I know I said this last time, but one thing I did not take into account was that the pressure was always falling as it was re-intensifying. So that could explain why this hurricane was at 150 miles per hour when they said it was. And I understand their logic with that. They found those flight level winds. They found those dropsons that indicates 150 miles per hour. And I respect that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, the pressure was always falling. Which is, I generally thought was because the hurricane was expanding in size. But it turns out I was incorrect. The hurricane was in fact strengthening again. And now it's almost to that 30-degree north mark. And it's about to... it's still a powerhouse. Like, if you want perspective, this is where Bermuda is right here. The outer bands of the hurricane are about to approach you guys. So I hope you prepared everything at that point. I hope you prepared when you did, because you're in for a little bit of a ride for the next day or so. So, yeah, I hope you guys should probably just keep an eye on this thing. You should only be getting tropical storm force winds, outer bands of the hurricane. That's all you should really be getting. But this satellite of this hurricane at the core, it's absolutely stunning at this point. I'm just going to say this right now. I am so happy this hurricane is not making landfall in Bermuda anywhere. I'm so happy that it's tracking off towards the east after this turn. So, yeah, Bermuda's only going to see some tropical storm winds of a very powerful hurricane. Very powerful Category 4 hurricane, to say at the very least. So, yeah. I've been keeping an eye on Hurricane Sam. This hurricane is really resilient. It went from 120 to 150 again. Pressure fell. Now the pressure's risen about 3 millibars, so it appears to have stabilized a little bit. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Before we go, we'll go to the few key takeaways I have. Number one, even this far north, this still has 150 mile per hour plus winds in this thing. That is honestly an accomplishment. And I'm glad I'm recording this history right now, honestly. The hurricane has expanded in size. Its winds now go at 205 miles from the center. The pressure has gone up a little bit to 937 millibars, so that may be an indication of the hurricane leveling off. It is moving at a faster pace than it was, 21 miles per hour. Now it's 16. It was 16 before, now it's 21. So that's first key takeaway. Second key takeaway, the cone has remaining a major hurricane through Saturday, as it's weakening to a Cat 2 on Sunday. Then has it becoming a post-tropical cyclone by Tuesday. So I'll be keeping a very close eye on that. We can also cross-check it with the tracks here. Models generally in agreement right here. The model's generally in agreement for the next 48 hours. And after that, they split off a little bit, which at that point, it doesn't really matter because it's not going to really hit anywhere. So that's key takeaway number 2. Key takeaway number 3, majority of the models agree that this hurricane is going to start weakening at this point. Some have it going down to a tropical storm strength a week out. Let's hope we see that, because this hurricane's been an absolute powerhouse, and I hope this thing weakens pretty soon. The next key takeaway before that is that hurricane hunters have went out there. They have confirmed this is a Category 4 hurricane. They found a dropsund right here. They released it. They found winds of 132 knots, or about 152 miles per hour. So yes, this has been a confirmed Cat 4 hurricane, a confirmed 150 mile per hour hurricane, and yeah, it's been a pretty impressive hurricane, especially this far north. So yeah, the final key takeaway is that the structure of this hurricane is still very, very impressive. Bermuda, you're about to see some outer bands from this. You're about to see some tropical storm impacts, but you're not getting a direct landfall, thank goodness. That's the only saving grace we have with this thing. Despite how powerful it is, it's not going anywhere freaking near Bermuda. So, yeah, that's all I really have for Hurricane Sam. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more updates.